Hello everyone, this is the introduction to our roots and affixes vocabulary. So for quarter one, you were working through what we call academic vocabulary, words that we use primarily in academia, meaning in school. Now we're moving on to a different type of vocabulary, roots and affixes. For quarter two, you're going to be focusing just on Latin roots, but I want to make sure that you understand the difference between roots and affixes as we progress throughout this school year. So roots and affixes deal with how words are created. It's like the building blocks to create a word. So the English vocabulary includes very short words, things like the word or longer words like inextricably or denunciation. When we've got shorter words like speak and solve, those are base words. They can stand on their own as a word, but we cannot pull them apart to smaller units. There are other words, however, where we can add them together to produce longer words with a whole bunch of different meanings. When we're talking about word parts, there are three kinds of word parts. Bases, which we just looked at. So a base is a word that can stand on its own, and it cannot be broken down into further parts. A root, which cannot stand on its own but retains meaning, and we'll look at some examples of those. Tang is an example, T-A-N-G. And then finally we have affixes. So if you look down at the bottom of this sheet here, an affix is, An affix is a word or a word part that can be attached to the root or the base at the beginning or at the end. So when we look at affixes, there are two different categories, prefixes and suffixes. A prefix comes before the word. A suffix comes at the end of the word. So some common prefixes: by, anti, inter, pre, super, trans, dis. So these are ones that are commonly added on to the beginning of words to help us understand that base or that root in a different way. Some common suffixes which will come at the end of the word include al, fy, ic, ion, ism, ize, and ous. And these different things will help change the part of speech, perhaps, for that word, or provide further context. So let's take a look at the word. Here we have tang, which means touch. We've got the prefix in, which means not. And then the suffix ible, which means able to. So we can create the word intangible. And intangible would mean not touch, able to. And we can put all of these pieces together to try to break it down and figure out what that word means. So when we look at that, so touch and not able to, if something's intangible, it means that you cannot touch it. It's something that maybe it exists only as a concept or an idea. It's not something you can fully grasp physically. We also will see that a lot of words will share a root or a base, and so they're a part of what we call a word family. You can think about different words that belong in the same word family, and that will help you understand the meaning of a new word. So if we take a look here where it says try this out, we have solo, solitary, and solitude. Looking at those three words, we can figure out that SOL means alone. So we can then also think about other words that might belong within that word family. Two examples here are solitaire and soloist. Solitaire is a card game that is played by just a single person, so that makes sense. And soloist is a person who performs alone, so they get the big solo for the concert. Take a look at this one now. Diminish, diminutive, and minimum. Think about what those words have in common. What would that root be? In this case, it would be M-I-N, min. Now, think about which one of those words you know. Diminutive is a trickier word, so you might not know that one. And then try to determine what you think the root is. I'll give you a minute here. Okay, so the root word min actually means like least or a small amount. So hopefully you were able to figure that one out. Let's take a look now using some multiple choice. So if our word family is ethnicity, ethnic, and ethnographer, our root is ETHN. Which one of those do you think it means? Ocean, nation, or hesitation? Correct answer here is nation. Another word family, maniac and maniacal. The root word there is mania. Do you think it means education, sanitation, or madness? Madness is the correct answer here. This is the last one for this activity. We have epidermis and dermatology. Our root word here is D-E-R-M, derm. What do you think it means? Here it means skin. So that one was a little bit tricky. Now, as we progress, please move through each week one at a time. You're going to be taking a look at different root words that come from the Latin language and learning and starting to apply those root words. Have fun.